guys, welcome back to my channel. So today I'm going to be doing the anti-TBR tag, and it's basically a tag about a whole bunch of books that I don't want to read, that I don't like, authors I don't want to read, authors I don't like, genres, series, all of that. So yeah, I have a lot of opinions on this, and yeah. So, a popular book that everyone loves but you have no interest in reading. Okay, I absolutely have no interest in reading Red Queen by Victoria Aveyard. I read the synopsis and it's just so stereotypical for young adult dystopian novels. You know, of course, there's like the commoners, and then there's the elite, and then the main character is the chosen one, and you know, they're the only person who can bring a stop to it. And I'm just like, I've seen this a lot, I've read this plot a lot, I don't care to read it over and over again. And you know, I may be like a little bit harsh and judgmental, even though, you know, I haven't read this book at all, and there could be like more components to it than I think it is. But just based off the synopsis, I'm gonna have to pass, because I've read that plenty of times, enough to know where it's going. And like, I see a lot of people rave about it. I see several people on Goodreads reading it, but the interest is absolutely not there for me. If I ever read it, I was probably forced by gunpoint. A classic book or author you don't have any interest in reading. Okay, nobody hate me, but I'm never gonna read Jane Austen. It's not gonna happen. I don't care about Pride and Prejudice, Mr. freaking Darcy, I don't care. I don't care about Emma. I don't care about Sense and Sensibility. I don't care about none of those novels. And there's not a certain reason why. I'm just like, I just don't want to read it, honestly. I don't care to read it. Like, it's not a book that, yeah. I'm not gonna pick up any of Jane Austen's books, and people find it so surprising when I say I've never read Jane Austen. I know for my internship last summer, I worked at a library, and so I was in charge of like programming and helping do like events and stuff. And so one of the events they wanted to do was like a Pride and Prejudice themed like sort of like event, and dressing up and having like all these era type of foods. And then I told them like, yeah, I've never read like Pride and Prejudice or whatever. And they were like, what? And I'm like, no, I just have no interest in it. You know, I love the like adaptions from Jane Austen novels like Clueless, but other than that, I'm not gonna read Jane Austen. I'm sorry, I have like no interest in her, and it's like nothing about her or anything. I just not interested in the books, point blank, at all. And authors' books who you have no interest in reading. So just the same question, but a little bit more recent. I would have said Sarah J. Maas, because I read Throne of Glass a while ago, and I was like, okay, this is not even as good as y'all were making it out to be. Like, it's not even giving what y'all said it gave. But I did pick up, what is it called, Crescent City, because I'm like, okay, maybe I'll give her another try. But my answer for this question would have to be John Green. I've read a couple of John Green novels, and I'm just like, I don't know, I'm not interested I'm not interested in his work. That's what I'm trying to say. And so it ties a little bit into this next question, which is an author you have read a couple of books from and have decided their books are not for you. So of course I'm gonna say John Green. I've read The Fault in Our Stars, I think Looking for Alaska, Will Grayson, and Paper Towns. And I feel like John Green is really overhyped and overrated. I don't think he's released any books as of lately, but then again, I don't know, because I don't keep up with John Green. but they're just overhyped, overrated, and I think his whole thing is just cheesy and corny. I think the reason why I don't like his books as much is because I was in that Tumblr era where people would post John Green quotes all the time and talk about John Green, and then I would read the book and I'm like, no. So yeah, I partially think that's the reason why I don't like John Green's books, because the Tumblr era where it was all about John Green. So I don't really care for his books at all. I think the only book I liked was Will Grayson, and even then I just liked it a little bit. But that's who I would have to say an author who I have no interest in reading in books, and an author who I've decided that their books are not for me. So yeah, nothing against John Green, but I don't like his books, y'all, okay? I don't like them. I don't like his writing. I don't like it. Okay, so the next question is a genre you have no interest in, or a genre you tried to get into and couldn't. Okay, now this might be long because I have some words. I have some thoughts, honey. Okay, so I would have to say fantasy, romance, and dystopian novels. And I'm not talking about dystopian novels like 1984, The Handmaid's Tale. I'm more so talking about young adult dystopian novels. But okay, those three. Okay, let's start off with fantasy. I don't detest it, but it's not like my favorite. And I've been trying to read more fantasy, but I just don't like it. I don't like how these fantasy novels are so long and drawn out. I don't like how it can't just be a one and done type of thing. It has to be like 5 or 6, 7, 8 books. I'm looking at Throne of Glass here. I don't like how all these fantasy books have a Song of Ice and Fire, a Court of Thorn and Roses, Throne of Glass. And then mostly what I don't like about fantasy novels is that they spend so much, not all of them, but sometimes they spend so much time on world building that we don't get to know the characters. I'm like, I don't care about how enchanted the forest looks, girl. I don't care about the heels or whatever. Like, where are the characters at? Give me some character development. So yeah, that's my problem, I would say, with fantasy novels. And I know not all of them are like that. I know not all of them are about dwarves, fairies, elves, talking animals. I know there's really good fantasy novels out there, and I'm trying to like get into fantasy. So I'm not completely against fantasy, but it is not my favorite. And so like I said, romance novels are a genre that I'm not too fond of, and there's like really no reason for it. I just don't care about romance novels because I feel like I can guess where it's going, and I feel like there's a certain formula, like they fall in love at first sight, everything is good, they may have a fight, split up, and then they're back together. And then most of these books, a common theme I notice in romance novels are where they'll have like a miscommunication, or they won't communicate about something and it's not even a big deal, but then it's made into like a really like big thing when, you know, all they could have done is just like talk to each other. So yeah, I'm not against romance novels, it's just not my favorite, I don't think. But the other genre I said was dystopian novels. Again, not like 1984, The Handmaid's Tale. I'm talking about stuff like The Maze Runner, and all these other novels that came out, these novels and movies that came out in 2015 that all had the same recurring theme, The Chosen One, The Shady Ass Government. You know, they have these different factions. I am not a fan of young adult dystopian novels at all, as y'all could have gained by me talking about The Red Queen. And you know, I'm not gonna say, well, I kind of hate it, but then I think it just depends overall on the stories and characters, because I finished a young adult dystopian novel called Black City like a couple weeks ago, and I mean, it wasn't that bad, but it was stereotypical. But the one thing that wanted me to make me read the sequel was like the story and the characters. So I think it really is the story and the characters. But if I can constantly guess what's going to happen, then I'm not gonna like it. So yeah, in conclusion, not the biggest fans of fantasy, romance, and young adult dystopian novels. A book you have bought but will never read. This one. It's called Unremembered by Jessica Brody. And it's basically about a girl who's the only sole survivor of a plane crash, and she's trying to piece together all these pieces of her life. And there's this guy that says he was like the love of her life, and she's trying to figure out what's going on with that. I don't know. I don't really care about novels that center around plane crashes. I don't know why. I just don't. Like, a lot of this stuff, there's really like nothing deep about why I don't like certain things. I just don't, you know? But I'm not gonna read this book. I have like no interest in reading it, even though I bought it, but this was like years and years ago. But that's all I have to say. I feel like I could guess the plot, plane crash and stuff. And I think even some of the reviews I read in this book were saying it's kind of stereotypical and you can guess what's happening. And I don't want that. I want to be like led on a journey. I love plot twists. Give that to me, not a novel where I can guess what's going to happen like after reading 10 to 15 pages. But yeah, I will never read this book on my shelf, so I'll probably go on and get rid of it. Okay, so the next question is a series you have no interest in reading or a series you started and did not finish. So there's a lot of series that I have read but not finished, and that's more so of trying to find the second book and also time. There's no bells ringing for me as far as like a series I have no interest in reading. I know there's a lot of them, but they're not coming across my radar. But like, I can say Red Queen again all day. I have like no interest in reading that, which y'all already know. But as far as other series, I feel like I won't finish a series I won't finish a series if it like has like a whole bunch of books, like 10 to 11 of books, maybe 5 to 8, 11 books. No, not 5 to 8 to 11. Wait, 5 to like 10 books, then I'm probably not going to read it. But that's mostly if it's like a book that should have stopped or a series that should have stopped a long time ago, like by book 3, because I don't mind reading like books that have series that have more than 10 books, because I've read all the Gossip Girl series and the Click series, so I don't mind. It just depends like on the story and if the author's dragging the story out for too long. And so the final question, it kind of ties into this, is a new release you have no interest in reading. Because again, nothing is coming on my radar because I feel like there's a lot of books I'm not really interested in reading. So that will have to be my answers for those. And I don't think there's any more questions for this tag. But yeah, I hope that wasn't like too unpopular or like controversial. I don't know. I know like a lot of people say Sarah J Maas for like their anti-TBR tag, and I could kind of agree just because I feel like her books are overhyped. But then again, I can't say nothing because I picked up Crescent City or whatever just because I wanted to see like I was just like interested in it a little bit. But yeah, those were my answers for the anti-TBR tag. I hope to do another video like this, actually, like an unpopular book opinion tag, just so y'all can get to know like a little bit about my reading preferences and what I like and don't like. But yeah, that was my video. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and follow me on my Bookstagram and book Twitter at DearNeela99, and I'll put all my other socials down below. Bye.